always a little bit different, right? I don't show, literally Betty's portfolio because, that started, when was that, in 2015, right? That's many years ago. So obviously there's some positions and percentages of return that would, not make it fun to look at. So I am trying to give you, and I will certainly, and we got some specific coins that we're going to look at today, that I really think are the ones that we are also adding on to our portfolio. I mean, Betty's, remember, I don't own anything and I'm pretty happy. How are you doing, Mr. French? Anyway, let's start and let's go. So, buy now portfolio. Oh, where am I? Where am I? I am. Here I am. No, thank God. Okay, so buy now. I know it's, especially when I always talk about mainstream media, but when you also look at other YouTube channels, they are really, everyone is assuming that it is going to go further down, and it might. But I mean, look, the thing is, we got to look where we came from. Remember, we sell high and we buy low, and we try not to miss out, right? And how do we do that? With discipline, knowledge and wisdom, experience and time. And it is important to be unemotional. It has taken me 20 years to learn this. And God knows, I never knew that I was going to be a full-time investor and a hobby YouTuber. The one challenge that we all have, and that is the biggest challenge for me as well, or I guess for everyone, it is truly timing the market. Timing the market is the most difficult thing, because obviously we don't know when is the bottom and when is the high. And that is why most people do this, or especially new investors, they do this common mistake. They buy high, they sell low, and they believe the mainstream media. I mean, believing the mainstream media, I mean, yes, I believe them. And that's why I try to every day point out what we are seeing there. I feel that there's blood on the street. I can't really imagine that it's going to come. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but I can't imagine we're going to see some other real big black swan events in the crypto market, right? I feel like we've had a few, right? More than one or two. So I think that's enough. Timing the market. That's why I always like to time in the market is more valuable than timing the market. Chaotic Rage, you're a man of wisdom. Or maybe a lady, I don't know. Anyway, timing the market, that's why. And, that's why we make these little historical corrections. They don't really say anything. But, and the thing was, what nobody pointed out, I actually had made a mistake. Anyway, from 2013 to 15, it took 14 months to go from Bitcoin's all-time high at the time to its low. It dropped 85%. Then in 17 to 18, I actually had miscalculated that. I put, I think, 13 months. It's only 12 months. So from 2017 December to December 2018, it was exactly 12 months where we saw Bitcoin go from 19,000 to 3,190. Lost 83%. Now, if we look at where we are currently, right? And today I've taken these prices. They are from Glassnode. If we look at the high 68,000, this was recorded on November the 21st. And now we saw in November 22, we saw 50, that is the current low, the 15,708. Now that would take us to 77%, also 12 months. Now I know that, I've been saying about 12,000. Just remember, this was a prediction that I made in January. I mean, I could be completely wrong, right? So what I also want to show is here, don't wait. I mean, we could maybe we're going to go down to 8, but you don't want to miss out on the turnaround, right? Just before we move on, remember, none of what I say and do is financial advice. You do your own research, and so do I. And in the end of the day, I don't know anything about crypto. So what I also want to point out here, I wanted to illustrate it, right? Let's assume, I do believe that the target for Bitcoin, the next all-time high in the next cycle will be 210,000, perhaps 240, 50, but that's around where I get it. How do I come to this new target? It's so simplistic. And of course, fundamentals, macroeconomic impacts, or new, things can have change every day. But if we would base it a little bit on the past, and I would say it's not so bad, 210, I think I could be on the lower side. So, I'm from the estimates based on the best, I'm pretty conservative, let's say. So if we would see an all-time high of 210,000, how do I get to that? Well, we always seen from the last previous all-time high until the new low, and then to the next cycle and high, it's usually times three and a 5. The times 3 and then the 5, that's when we sell. That's when the market is overly excited, and when BitBoy is saying buy, 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 and when CNBC is only sharing all-time high, Bitcoin all-time high, and that's when all the little people, they enter. So if you were to enter now and buy Bitcoin at 15,000, and of course, I mean, Bitcoin is just an indicator, right? I still think there's some quality protocols that offer better risk-reward potential. But Bitcoin is different than other utility tokens or altcoins. So if you were to buy Bitcoin at 15,000 and it would go to 210,000, well, then you would achieve 1,300%. Now, if you would dig it up at 12,000, let's say, it's going to hit 12, well, then we would be lucky to achieve 1,650%. Should it even go lower than that and it would go to 8,000, well, then you would generate 2,525%. It's a big difference. And for the ones that are, they're really, they want to, maybe even optimistic or dreamers or want to, 2,500 sounds a lot better than 1,300. That might be it. And I also, listen, I got buy orders. I still got a few coins in the back pocket for 12,000 and perhaps also a few for 8,000. But then I'm out. Then I got to just sit it out. What I want to show here, just a screenshot of the Bitcoin chart, right? So you can see this is from today. Now, the first purple line here is at 12,000. And the second one is at 8,000 something. It's only for illustrations. Now, look, we don't even, just look. We don't even need no technical analysis. We are not so far away, right? We're like, if we look here, we could say we're 4 centimeters. 4 centimeters. But the potential up here, I mean, this chart could not even if 210,000 was on this chart, you can see, I mean, the upwards potential. So the question is, and that is why I actually made the thumbnail with buy now. It can go down to 12 and maybe we entered now. Can go down to 8 and maybe we entered now. But it can also be that based on maybe we have hit its all-time low. I'm just saying sometimes and that's also why we've been averaging in, and that's also why we average out. Anyway, so I hope that makes a bit of sense. Sometimes don't be too confident that we will either see the 12 or the 8. I'm just saying that is the goal here to share, is to average in and average out. And now, before we move on to what doesn't really makes sense, comes from the traditional markets. But before that, I do need a sip already of my lovely Bahama Mama. Oh. As I said, Bahama Mama, we gotta take a little break with that. And too many Bahama Mamas is not good for the head. The only thing that doesn't add up, to me is if we look at the stock market. I will run over this really quickly. Just see the Dow Jones in 2000, it went down 39%, 54% then in 2008, right? And right now, we only had 22% retracement in Dow Jones, and the economy doesn't really look good. But I will tell you another thing. The economy has not looked good for a very long time, and somehow, the policymakers and the Federal Reserve and God knows who, they always pull some rabbits out of their hats. And since the money printer is on, and we are seeing, more money coming into circulation, obviously the only place the markets can go is up. So it is a bit of a circus. But NASDAQ, we saw 78% in 2000 after the dot-com bubble. We saw 55% retracement in 2008 after the mortgage crisis. Currently, however, with NASDAQ, we have seen 37% retracement. So, I mean, I don't know really. I just wanted to point that out. Remember, what is it that our Betty's portfolio consists of? Cryptocurrencies, of course, staking, farming. Stable coins now less, and precious metals, that's just something we hold on the side. Very important, blockchain infrastructure. We should almost change this to Web 3.0 infrastructure. And then, of course, also, we want to invest in the traditional industries that are migrating onto the blockchain. As I said before, we average in, we average out. Really. I mean, it's a little bit different than the dollar cost averaging, right? But the dollar cost averaging is also good. It's just that, I mean, now Betty, she has built up a portfolio where I'm, where we don't need to dollar cost averaging in. So we are more like, we invest kind of based on cycles. But dollar cost averaging is also good. The asset allocation has gone, you can see we don't have that many. We still have some stable coins. I mean, it's just more for illustration. But we have, of course, in the past few months been, as you know, you hopefully you watched some of the videos. So obviously that we have allocated some of the profits that we took last year into some good coins. And of course, basically, the most of them are also down, right? But remember, you never really know when the market is going to turn around. So the ecosystems that we look at, as I've said, it is Ethereum, it's Cardano, it's Binance, it's Kusama, it's Polkadot, and a little bit of Solana. It's not that I want to distance myself from Solana. You can also, based on the tokens that we talk about, just never been overly exposed or overly, I simply don't, to be honest, when it comes to the time, I'm busy with Ethereum and Kusama, Polkadot, and hopefully Cardano at some point are gonna provide more. So, and these are the exchanges that I actually trade on or buy and sell: Kraken, Binance, KuCoin, Gate, and Huobi. We never used FTX. I also have to say that the main ones that I really use are Kraken and Binance. And also, it is important, and a good friend today, he told me that we should make a video about about the ledgers and the cold storage wallets, because it is important that you don't leave it on the centralized exchanges. But sometimes it's also, I do find that the centralized exchanges offer usually better pricing than what you can get on the decentralized exchanges. So sometimes it's not really, it's okay to go in and trade on the centralized. It's just important that you take your coins out and put them in your hardware wallet. When it comes to decentralized exchanges, the ones that we use are Uniswap, PancakeSwap, a little bit NetSwap, a little bit Radium, and really not, the last few months, not really been doing there a lot, but on Uniswap mainly. And so here we go. These are the ecosystems. Remember, there's infrastructure. We're going to talk about, I want to give you a little bit about some infrastructure coins today. So the infrastructure is important for the Web 3.0, and it's going to be the same for all ecosystem, for the Binance chain, for the Cardano ecosystem, Polkadot, Kusama, and Ethereum, because ultimately it's all about that all these protocols, they can interact with each other, also known as interoperability, right? So the blockchain infrastructure is, it is decentralized exchanges. It's about, DeFi lending protocols, decentralized storage, automated market makers, oracles, aggregators, NFTs. I think, all that. And then the traditional industries. I feel that it's almost like very early, and we have been holding some of these traditional industry coins, already for a long time, and that was a long play, right? But it's energy. You got some great energy tokens there: supply chain management, gambling, gaming, and insurance. Really, I maybe we entered too early in the insurance, in the energy, supply chain management, but you do not know when it's gonna turn around and when it's really gonna, go. So here, we are holding many more positions, but just, these are some of the main ones, just because we simply don't have time to go over each individual, right? But Ethereum, Polkadot, Cardano, Binance, of course, Uniswap, Chainlink, Kusama, Chromia, I'll speak to a little about that, Ren, VeChain, Engine, Maker, Aave, Theta, Filecoin, Compound, LivePeer, The Graph, Thorchain, Rune, Unibright, PancakeSwap, EtherRisk, Energy Web Token, Sia, Litentry, and then down in the bottom some that I would not, you see, I also don't, I want, to share, or my advice would be now to focus on the, let's say, more blue chips, the more conservative coins. You see down on the bottom, we got Umbrella. I mean, this is a coin I invested in, a long time ago. I've been staking that. I mean, I got so many Umbrellas that I don't even, but who knows if Umbrella is ever going to achieve anything. So, yeah. Let's move on to really what it is. But at least you see the coins that I believe in, and there are many more, but also in the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem. The web and we'll get just one more minute, and then we will look at some more coins. So the Web 3.0 infrastructure, I hope you know that's it is, from my point of view, truly going to become one of the hottest sectors. And that is, what does that comprise of? File storage, computation, wireless connectivity, blockchain data, and digital identity. Of course, there are many more. But so I've been talking a lot about decentralized storage, right? So I think you also know that they include Filecoin, Storj, SIA, Arweave, Crust, network. But they have emerged to serve in the critical layer of the Web 3.0 infrastructure, ecosystem. However, these protocols, they represent 80% of the Web 3.0 infrastructure, of the total fully diluted valuation. So it just goes to say that storage is, I think that the coins themselves, they're completely, not a lot of attention did decentralized storage actually get in the past. And I really think this is going to take off in the next cycle. I think everything that's infrastructure is in the next cycle. So if you point out here, for example, Filecoin, right, it's down 98% from its all-time high. I mean, that's also why, how wrong can it go, right? So even though that mainstream media is only, really spreading a lot of fear, and so is CNBC and everyone, FTX. This is exactly, and if I guess if we learn anything from Warren Buffett, right? You buy when there's blood on the street. So this is why, I don't know how much more, at 98. That is why we are really entering with, the last coin from the left pocket. Still a few in the back pocket though. Storj, right, down 91%. Also, and these are all quality, let's say, protocols that have been around for long, since 2018, for example. Storage or Storj. SIA coin also down 97%. And then, of course, there's Arweave, our new favorite, down 89%. Thank God it's down there before it went up there with, before the announcement with Metaverse. So, here you can go in and you can buy a decentralized storage coin that already is working with one of the biggest companies in the world, right? Probably they will get more clients. That's how I look at it. Just another sip here. So when you go into and listen to all these other channels, they say, oh, no, it's going to go more down. Yeah, but how much further down can it really go when you look at the altcoins? The other part of the Web 3.0 infrastructure is computation. So compute resources are needed for a range of applications and services, including rendering, hosting, and streaming. So Web3 compute protocols allow node operators to receive payment for renting out their computing resources. So basically, if you have your computer at home, you can run a node. Now, some of the coins that I think that have real potential is LivePeer and Akash. Now, we are only exposed to LivePeer, I have to say, right? But that's just how that is. Maybe we made it wrong. Let's see. So LivePeer is a decentralized marketplace for streaming applications that require video processing. And LivePeer's key metric that captures network usage is the number of minutes of video content processed on the network. And they are up 12% quarter over quarter, which has translated into a 7% revenue increase. So even though that, the infrastructure and the Web 3.0 not at all has, seen or experienced mass adoption, there's still these top protocols, the future protocols of tomorrow. They keep improving, they keep expanding. And even though when you look at the overall figures in terms of real dollars, it's not a lot. But even in a market in the past quarter where, we were seeing a bear market, the protocols are still expanding and growing. So we have been investing in LivePeer for a long time. Hold on, and we keep continuing to average in, especially also at these prices, right? So you can see here, LivePeer is down 93%. You see, most of these coins here that I'm also showing, now if you followed me since the beginning, then you will know that when we entered the first time around LivePeer and when we sold LivePeer, right? I always leave small positions left. That's more out of nostalgia, you can say. So we bought low and we sold high just, when we exited the market last year in April. And happy, really, really, really happy to re-enter, and especially at 93%. Can it go down to minus 95%? Yes, it can. But you always got to look at the risk-reward potential, right? I think that's the most important. There we go here. And then Acash, I know too little about it. It's not in our portfolio, but I just thought I wanted to, share here this slide, and it's down 97%. But I really know too little about Acash. But according to Messari, it is one of the best computation protocols that there are out there. The next one that we have here is when it comes to blockchain data, also one of the key categories of the Web 3.0 infrastructure. And we've been speaking a lot about the graph here, mentioning it. We've been mentioning graph many times. And it is a decentralized protocol used to index and query data from blockchains. So the demand comes from data consumers, which is typically app developers, and they then pay a fee per query, when they need some information, to the node operators. And as of September 2022, there were 495 active subgraphs on the decentralized mainnet, which is a 26% increase quarter over quarter, and there's 11% increase in revenue. Usually I don't talk about these, revenue increases. It's just that I just wanted to point out that even when we are seeing, prices of the coins go down and everybody's talking about a bear market and, oh my God, is crypto going to survive? We can actually see that the good qualities, the ones that are going to be the leaders of tomorrow, they're still growing, improving. And if you look at here, the graph, it is down 97%. And from its all-time high. So these were some of the coins here that I do think that really have the potential not only to become the market leaders in their respective category, but also down. And I think there's good potential for them. That's then let's move on. What else do we have? Let's see. Yeah, of course. So many coins are down, so much down from the all-time high, and we know that is not really the point that I want to. We just, Polkadot and Kusama, of course, is also I love it, and the portfolio that we have there is Akala, it's Moonbeam, it's a star, smaller position in Fala, smaller. If I were to enter the market right now, I would focus on Akala and Moonbeam and maybe a star. So if you're new and you've not exposed to Polkadot, those are the three that I would recommend. Now, since we've been around for a little bit longer, with Fala and Litentry, I think that it's always good to try to have a few coins that can really then, when the third cycle is going to take off, going to really, really surprise you. And that's, so therefore, the risk reward, obviously the risk is higher, but potential reward is also higher. But then again, I think conservative, Akala, Moonbeam, and Star, and then some of the others, there are maybe more risk involved. Also, if you look at parallel finance, cross network, and Kyling. Hey, I love Cross Network and Kyling, and I have and Litentry, and I have great faith in them. But if I was new to crypto, these were not the 3 first coins that I would expose Betty's portfolio to. Also on Kusama, there I again goes. I would, if you're new, Karura, Moon River, Sheeden. I think then you're covered good. Then down below, risk reward potential. Hopefully, more reward, more risk. If I should choose from Kilt, Altair, Carla, Genchio, Crust, and Bifrost, I mean, it's hard to say. The Kilt, I think, could be good. Kilt, I like them all. Kilt, Altair, and Crust. But who knows, you know. I'm just saying, so new, I would focus on the top 3. And I also do think that when money enters the market, it will triple down, right? Just like a waterfall. Then for the real, those, I mean, just to share, said that before, for those of you who are really up for some risky business, is already we have allocated to the IGO, Initial Gaming Offering Platforms, as you know, Red Kite. And we got that very cheap. So you can see here we are trying to calculate what could the potential reward be, right? So invest, we bought worth of 10,000, we got it the highest category, and should it go to its previous all-time high, well then alone on the Red Kite, or now renamed to Firebird, would achieve 251,000. I'm just looking. That's see if there's any questions. Go to the chit chat and I can have a quick sip. Well, I picked all the Chinese scams. Well, let's see. You know, Akala, is that a Chinese scam? I don't know. Sheeden, is that a Chinese scam? I don't know. But I do know that obviously Polkadot is much more Asian focused. But let me know. So, Live, we had a lot of work to do at the moment. You need a degree in computer science just to stream. Yeah, no. What I can, do you know any? Yeah, what I can say. Yeah, I mean, it still remains to be seen how this future infrastructure Web 3.0 really is going to work. Obviously, that we all know, right? It's you know, we are in that sense speculating on the future. So, about, let me just see here, and what are we? What do you give some love? Yeah, and why can't I send you super chat? We don't take super chats. You know, where we are in this world, there is no super chats. How are you doing, Blockchain Bully? Good to see you. And but there was one here. It's not user friendly. Do you know any? Do you own any of the launch pads? Yeah, I think that was Firebird and Gamify. Yeah, I didn't show that. You know, here, boom. Also Gamify. We re-entered, right? I mean, if you follow this, then you know that last year we bought many launch pads, right? But we made mainly our profits, I have to admit, by buying low and selling high. We made some money on the Initial Gaming Offering coins, but not a lot. Blocktopia was amazing, but the majority of money that we made was by buying the gaming platforms tokens low and high. So we re-entered both in Red Kite, is now called Firebird, and Gamify, and we have already secured these highest levels. And you can see, I mean, this was I don't know, a month ago. $5,000 is what we invested. Should it go to its previous all-time high, then that would be worth 182,000. So the risk reward, I find is worth it. So let me just see here. Is there anything else? I can't say anything really. Oh, there we go. I can see about FTM. Not Dominic. I don't know right now about FTM. No, I won't. I'm sorry. What do you? I thank you, Thomas. I have a little bit of money, less than 1,000. Should I go all in one coin and wait buy a couple of coins? Well, Leopoldo Gandara, I think. Well, $1,000, right? I mean, it's always better to diversify, right? That's the first thing. So I would buy a couple of coins. Yeah, instead of putting all in one. And $1,000 is good enough, right? I would maybe subdivide it into 4, so each times $250, and because you never really know, right? And I know in the past that there was always some coin that I had more love to, and the other one that maybe I exposed a little bit less, but usually it was always the coins that I didn't believe would really make it that made it the best, right? So what do you say here? Those are some of the new layer ones coming out. Apples is I'm trying to. I don't have any. I think there's going to be a lot of layer 1s or layer 2 solutions or protocols that seem to offer and huge potential. But I'm trying also in this stream here. I'm trying to first really focus on the top quality or the biggest coins, because as I've said before, I think that when the money enters the market, so I no, right now Aptos and Sui I don't have, and we will go to that. As I try to do this cryptocurrency portfolio update once a week, you will see once the market has turned around, we're getting more money in, then of course we're going to move away from these, let's say, top quality coins like Ethereum and Aave and Curve and then go further in, because that's where we then have to make sure that we achieve some good returns. But I think it's too early. So that's that's it. Thank you. So not so much to say. Akala Betty is Chinese, just living in New Zealand. Yeah, I know Akala Betty. I mean, I know what she looks like. She's Asian. An Asian lady. About that's, yeah, I know. Any thoughts about Solanium launchpad on Sol? Well, to be honest, I never, we got locked in on Solanium when we entered there, so we still have our coins. I haven't really checked it. Again, this I would say Cryptology, that these your question is legit. But I just think that it's going to take time before these launch pads are going to see, good days again. Because again, once the market is going to turn around, money is going to flow into the top protocols. And only when we have regained confidence and new investors are entering, that's when we're going to see shitcoins and launch pads really take off. And don't forget, and maybe we should, maybe let's go in and look at our gaming portfolio, because we never sold any of our gaming IGOs, and but I can tell you, they're all down. When it came to gaming, we made our money by buying the launchpad coins, and we have been holding on to all of them. Except Blocktopia, we were good. We sold some, and that was nice. But look at the others, all of them, minus 72. And this is from the, from the initial offering price, you could say, right? Where you have to participate and be quick and be in the highest level. I mean, look at minus 72, minus 26, minus 32, 70, 85, 84, 86, 97, and 88, 88, 95, 70. I mean, this, so... The reason why I'm showing this is that these platforms, these gaming IGO platforms, they have something to answer for, right? I mean, it's not that you really feel that you want to, do this again, right? Now we're just keeping them, to see if this was just more fun that we got into all of this, or keeping the gaming coins. Should any of these take off, well then maybe it's great. If not, it's also okay. We made our money on the platform coins. Avalanche, we are not, also today we're not holding Avalanche, and I wanna stick to the coins that we do hold. So today, at least today, right? And I really know too little about Avalanche, and we're not holding that. So so bullish right now. I'm bullish. Yeah, I'm bullish, because I mean, if we can get coins, between 70 and 90%, I mean, how much cheaper can we actually expect to get them, right? I think that's the point. And if we go in and look, I think that's, that's why I've been wearing this t-shirt here for a while. Number one, when was it that I exited the market? Well, that was in April 2021. Now, it did go, you can see Bitcoin did go higher, right? In November, it was even higher. But from the moment where I was, announcing it, we were around 60,000, and then it went up to 68,000. Am I sad that I lost this little, this little price increase? No. But I would have been damn sad if, if I would have held the tokens and I would have had to sell at, 40 or 30. So that's also what I mean with down here. Of course I don't know how much lower it can go, right? So that's why I'm bullish. I am bullish. Even if we are going to see further downturn, I think it's a few percentage points. But if you compare to the potential reward, I think it's a good risk reward scenario. That's what I think. So Quant and Elron, Rena, today they are not in our portfolio. They're not in our portfolio. So I try during the week when we do the live streams and so on. I try to talk about many coins that are good. But ultimately, if there's one thing that have saved, let's say, Betty's portfolio is that we were never invested into Terra. We were never invested into FTT. We never even used the exchange. We had nothing to do with what's it called? Those other platforms that went bankrupt, right? Celsius. And so sometimes I know that you want to, I still think we're exposed to so many coins, right? But you can't be in all of them. And in some way it has saved us that we have never been exposed, and we have never on CryptoCurrency portfolio spoken about any of these coins that, Terra, that we are invested. So that's it. We still believe in VeChain. Of course I do. Of course I do. And the VeChain, I love VeChain, and we are also holding VeChain. And VeChain is, I've said many times, you see, just because the market price is going down doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with a lot of these protocols, and especially with VeChain, because I mean they're already working with a lot of traditional companies, and they they've over a long period of time they have a proven track record. So let's just go in here but of course it's VeChain is also really a discount now, right? I mean, like the entire market. So that's also why I try to often also talk about other good coins. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad coin just because we don't have it. So what do you say? And you have a public portfolio in CoinMarket to check out in real time? No, we don't. I cannot. Remember, I own nothing, and I'm pretty happy. But I know we should set that up, but it's still a lot of work with all the transactions that I do. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with it. But I know we should set that up. I know we should. And I have also said that starting kind of from now, let's say the next series of videos that we're going to launch will be always about new coins that we are adding. And then there will be a specific video. And then I will gradually maybe actually set up as a new public portfolio so that we can kind of follow this together. Because I am convinced now is really the time. It's even if it's going to go further down, then we might have some losses in the next 3 to 6 months. But the big picture, I'm convinced. Your opinion? So let me just. Do you have a? Yeah. So that's what do you say, Team Rice? Good to see you. In your opinion, you think EOS can make a comeback and rejoin it? No. It's again, I know too little. You see, I know too little about the programmers and the company and how they're developing everything and the partners. So we're not invested in EOS, and so I don't know. I'm trying also really to keep saying, try to. Let me try to focus. There are so many top quality protocols right now that why would one buy an altcoin where we're not so sure if it's really going to play a part in the future of finance or the blockchain ecosystem. So what I'm trying here, I'm trying more to really focus on, even from different subcategories of industry, try to focus on the industry leaders, even, you know, if there's not a lot going on yet, neither in the Web 3.0 or essentially on the blockchain in terms of revenues, but hoping to identify the market leaders. So I don't know about years. Time to look on Solana, CloudKit. Solana is not in our portfolio. And I have to say again, I don't know. And why am I being more cautious? It is because it seems to me, and also if you follow this channel, you know, I believe that the future of finance is basically built on Ethereum and the Soul Sisters and the Soul Brothers, which is Cardano, which is Polkadot. And of course, we got then a few others. I mean, and Binance, of course. And I'm not taking in the layer 2 because they're obviously EVM compatible, right? But it seems to me that Solana and what is it called, Quicksilver, Silica, and some other blocks, that we're not gonna need 10 different blockchain layers. Just like, you know, we don't need, you know, 10 telecommunicator providers, right? We don't need 50 internet providers. We don't need 50 stock exchanges. So it will ultimately, some of these blockchain-based layers, some of these ecosystems, they're not going to be used. I mean, how many DeFi protocols do we have now? I mean, when you go and when I go and look around, you know, for staking, I mean, there's so many DeFi protocols, but when you go and look at them, there's no liquidity there now. Now we all know that it's a bear market, but why? We don't need 50 or 200 DeFi platforms. So therefore, be careful. And that's what that's the message. Try to focus on really the core blue chips. So that's it. JV, how do you feel about accredited investors the SEC is hinting at? Well, all I can see, flat smack that. Now that's, let me put it, I'm loading up on Ethereum. Let me tell you, I bought lots of Ethereum back in 2015 at around $8. And yeah, you know, that's been good ever since. But I think JW, what you're meaning is that we're going to see more regulation and KYC and all of them goodies. I've also said many times in the past, the future of finance is not going to be this decentralized ecosystem that we were hoping and sold. It was sold. This vision was sold to us, right? Both from Polkadot founder Robinhood. It was all about decentralization. It was all about permissionless and trustless and all them goodies. But in the end of the day, if we're going to see the transition, that we're going to see the CBDC being launched across the globe, which I think, so that will be the new currency, even if it's different CBDCs around the world. But they will also bring in mass adoption. So I think what I'm trying to say is we won't be able to operate without regulation. Gary is going to jail. SEC is getting exposed. Thank you so much, guys. How do you feel? That's it. I'm happy you were here. And also, okay, and also about Solana, just one more thing I wanted to mention, but I'm not 100% on top of that. It seems to me, right, with this FTC and Alameda, that they have a pretty big bag exposed to Solana, and at some point they probably need to offload them and sell them. So when you have a sleeping disaster like that with that amount of Solana tokens, I mean that's a lot of tokens I think they need to sell. So I would probably wait a little. I would stay out of that, because if you look at Alameda and FTC's portfolio, there are a lot of other top coins that they did not have serious exposure to. That's it. I wish you a lovely Saturday night, and let's end this here. Just want to look at the Bitcoin, because it is ending the week tomorrow, of course. But let's look here. We First of all, look at the volume, right? So this is this week is the highest volume that we have ever seen in Bitcoin, ever. Which is, you would think, they're just sitting and selling to each other. But nevertheless, we're still way below the 7-day moving average. I mean, it does, until we break through the 7-day moving average. I still think, we are more into 12,000, more heading towards 12,000 than we're heading to 20. But you know that from, my expertise when it comes to technical analysis. Guys, I love you all, and see you soon. And thank you for being here, and I congratulate you because you will become among the 1%. If you're in now and you buy now,